Hello everybody and welcome to another Snapshot tutorial video on the StellarTrek GPS product from Humanware. My name is Peter Tusick, and in today's video we're going to be talking about managing landmarks. A landmark can be kind of brought into your device in two ways. You can either use the record button on the right edge of your unit as you traverse your environment, as you walk around. You can press that button and you can record a 4-second landmark, 4-second audio sort of tagged landmark in your environment. Or anytime you enter an address, which we've covered in a previous video, you will be able to have that saved as a landmark. So two ways you can bring landmarks into your unit. Landmarks are useful because you can either navigate to them as destinations, or they can be used as kind of anchor points as you walk through your environment. So when you get to within 15, 20 feet or so of a landmark, your unit will let you know you are approaching whatever that landmark may be. You can certainly manage your landmarks, so if you have too many, or if you want to rename them, or if you want to get rid of them, whatever it is, you can do that in the settings menu, and that's what we're going to look at today. I'm going to press and hold my down arrow to get into settings.
Settings, Bluetooth.
And this is where we've been before in previous videos: Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, maps management, all of this is here. But if I move to the right, so I'm going to push my right arrow a couple of times,
Landmarks and routes.
we get to the landmarks and routes option, and this is where we can manage landmarks or pre-recorded routes. And a route would be something you walk, and it records kind of the steps of the walk you took in terms of where you turned, how far you went, that sort of piece. And then you can recall that, think of it as a recording of your activity, and you can walk that route day after day or backtrack that back to your starting point. I'm going to press confirm here to open up the landmarks and routes settings.
Landmarks and routes. Landmarks management.
So the first piece here is landmarks management. If I go to the right, I will also have
Export landmarks and routes.
an export landmarks and routes option where I can bring or export them to, to my internal memory, so that I could hook this up to my computer and actually bring all of my landmarks or routes onto another StellarTrek device. I'm going to press my right arrow again, see one other setting here.
Import landmarks and routes.
So therefore, if I do have, my device will show up as a removable storage drive. So if I do have landmarks and routes on my computer, and I've done this when I do group settings, I will record landmarks on one device, I will export them, throw them onto a computer, and then move them over to the internal storage on various units and import them via this option. So you can do that. I am going to activate this first option here, though,
Landmarks
that says
management.
landmarks management.
Landmarks management. 2 landmarks.
So
826 South May Street, Chicago, Illinois.
I have 2 landmarks here. The first is
Rename the selected landmark.
an address here in Chicago, which is my home address. What you can do is an arrow through these with your left and right arrow. So I have 2 landmarks. One is my house. The other is
1901 West Madison Street, Chicago, Illinois.
the other one is 1901
Rename the selected landmark.
West Madison Street in Chicago. Now, that is, for those of you who are familiar with Chicago, that is the United Center. That is where the Bulls, the Blackhawks, and all kinds of concerts take place, and where those sports teams play. My first option here is to rename, but I wanted to show you what happens when you press your down arrow. So again, you move through your landmarks with left and right, and you are able to rename as your first option. So if I were to select, I could rename, but I'm going to press my down arrow.
Rename landmark with text.
So I can now rename the landmark with
Rename the selected
text.
landmark.
I can do this with a Bluetooth keyboard or by using the virtual on-screen keyboard or USB-C keyboard. I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to press confirm here.
Enter landmark's name.
Now we're placed into the landmark name field, and at this point I could use the ABC or QWERTY layout depending on what I have my keyboard set to. Again, we've explored this in other Snapshot tutorial videos in terms of how to use the virtual keyboard. I'm going to use a Bluetooth keyboard here, and I'm just going to type United Center.
U-N-I-T-E-D space C.
Right, and you can hear what I'm typing.
E-N-T-E-R.
Typed it kind of slow so you could hear what the device is saying as I type, and I can press enter.
Your landmark has been renamed successfully. Landmarks management. 2 landmarks. United Center.
And now you
Chicago, Illinois.
That this
Rename
landmark
the selected landmark.
has been named with United Center. So at this point I have United Center, it labeled as United Center. Now I know if I were to go to that destination, it'd be the United Center, or I might start virtual map browsing mode from that location. Again, something we've discussed in a different Snapshot tutorial video, how we use virtual map browsing mode. You could also, if you just, let's say you didn't want to use text to rename the landmark, although it's been a requested feature that we've brought into the StellarTrek, you may just want to rename this with voice. So maybe you were out and about. Maybe I was standing somewhere and I named a landmark very poorly, and it was muffled, or there was cars and trucks and buses and trains or wind, and I want to rename it once I get home. You can do that as well. So again, I'm focused on United Center. My first option says rename landmark. And if I just press confirm, we don't want rename with text.
United Center.
But if I just press
Chicago,
rename,
Illinois.
if I just press confirm here on rename landmark, and again speaking because I haven't taken any action, but if I press confirm, what it will do is it will allow me to re-record the name of a landmark. So I'm going to press confirm here.
Record landmark name.
United Center.
Landmark recorded. Your landmark has been renamed successfully.
So at this point, I've renamed it with a voice tag. So you can choose to rename with text, or you can choose to rename with voice. Again, if we listen to that,
Delete all land.
United Center. You'll hear that I have renamed that on the device
Chicago,
with its internal
Illinois.
mic. Now,
Rename the selected landmark.
another option here, if I move down, so again, rename is the first option, rename with text is the second.
Rename landmark with text.
I'm going to come down one more time.
Unset as a possible destination.
This is a very important setting.
Press
So
confirm to unset this landmark as a possible destination.
unset as a possible destination is very applicable if you have parking lot entrances or landmarks that are not necessarily businesses or place you're ever going to go. You may have landmarks that just cue you into something, maybe the entrance to a park, maybe something on a college campus where you just need to know you're in the vicinity of that landmark, but you're never going to use it as a destination. So you don't want it to clutter your go-to landmarks list. So if I activate this landmark, the United Center, will never show up as a possible destination. It can be very useful, again, if you never want to navigate here. So I'm going to show you what this sounds like if I press confirm.
Succeeded. This landmark is no longer a possible destination.
What happens is now it is still a landmark, but it is no longer going to be identified in my go-to landmarks list of destinations when I use my go-to key. And this can be a great idea. You can certainly unset this. So again, if I look at the setting,
Delete rename landmark with rename landmark set as a possible destination.
we can set it.
Press confirm to set this landmark as a possible destination.
So again, if we wanted it to reappear in my list of landmarks that I could choose for possible destinations, we would activate this and it would show back up in that list.
Delete landmark.
The other option I have here, if I use my down arrow, is to
Delete the
delete
selected landmark.
this landmark. So if I want to get rid of it, I can press confirm and we will delete this landmark. When I do that, what you'll hear,
Press confirm again to delete landmark.
so it says press confirm again to delete landmark, and I don't want to do that. I'm just going to hit cancel or my back button. Any button will do.
Cancel.
And again, we're back focused on that landmark. So you'll hear these options. Again, when we navigate with our left and right arrow to the landmark we'd like, we have rename, rename with text. We then have the option to unset as a possible destination or delete.
Set as a possible rename set as a delete rename
And then we're
landmark
back.
with audio.
So again, there are
Rename the selected landmark.
quite a few options here. The other option you have, if you wanted to get rid of all landmarks in one fell swoop, let's say maybe you're selling your unit or you're just totally unsure, you have so many landmarks, you don't know what to do, what's going on, let's go to the right.
Delete all landmarks.
You have an option to delete all landmarks, and this will get rid of all landmarks on your device. Again, this has been a quick snapshot tutorial on landmark management. We hope you found this helpful, and there certainly are many other snapshot tutorials available on the StellarTrek. Give them a look, and we hope that this will be of use to you. So thanks, everybody.